Welcome back to another episode of our Formula 1 2019 mid-season driver reviews. If you're new around here, then you won't know. We're doing one of these, or at least one of these, every single day throughout the Formula 1 summer break, which it's finally over. This week, we return to racing. The Belgian Grand Prix is here, so of course, keep your eye out for previews, practice reports, quality reports, and of course, the main feature, the race review. But before that, we've got a few more of these to go, and today we're talking about Kevin Magnussen, one of the feistiest, fiery drivers on the Formula 1 grid in 2019. Hasn't had the best of years. And when you look back to last season, one of the more consistent drivers in that midfield, he seems to have lost his edge so far this year in 2019 as K-Mag. But both him and Romain Grosjean, I feel, have not been given the car to be able to perform this year. The Haas car has been so inconsistent for the last 4 Grand Prix. Grosjean and Magnussen have been driving two completely different spec cars. Magnussen's been driving the updated car with all the updates on. Grosjean has been driving the bare bones car they ran in the early stages of the season. It's been such a difficult start. And I've tried to say this for all of my reviews for Haas, and Grosjean in particular as well. We really are struggling to analyse K-Mag and Grosjean's performances because the car is brilliant on a Saturday on occasions and pretty awful on a Sunday. So how can we judge how well these guys are doing? Well, I gave Grosjean a 5 out of 10, and I'll tell you now, I'm giving K-Mag the exact same result. You're going to see in a moment some head-to-head statistics which I made for the Grosjean video just because I felt he got unnecessary treatment so far this year. But K-Mag, I think it's been fair enough. He's got 3 points finishes overall this season, but in the race battle, he's actually losing it to his teammate. It's 5-1 to Grosjean, thanks to Grosjean's many retirements so far this year, 4 of them mechanical for Grosjean. But Magnussen has been the better qualifier. It's 5-all in the qualifying battle, but Magnussen has been scoring some fantastic results so far this year. Look in Austria. Got into Q3 after a poor string of results, a P5, incredible effort from him on the day. In the race, well, no points. The car was absolutely rubbish, to be honest with you. But it's been things like that all season long, which have just really painted a nasty picture for the team. Kevin sits on 18 points so far this year, and the majority of those came in the very first race of the season. K-Mag picking up a P6 on that particular occasion. That was a little bit unfortunate for the team because Grosjean was also running in P6. Those two were fighting over 6th and 7th, but Grosjean's tyres fell off. So big points lost there for the team. Then in Spain, a few races later, Grosjean was 7th, K-Mag was 8th. Grosjean couldn't get the tyres working. K-Mag as well seemed to struggle a little bit on the safety car restart late on into the race. Grosjean fell back through and just held on to points. K-Mag got a P7 on that particular day, but it's not been the cleanest of seasons for K-Mag. As mentioned, he seems to be the better qualifier, but in the race often has seemed to slip back throughout the field and seems to be, of the two, the one who's been struggling to really get the tyres working in a Grand Prix. There has been some mistakes, just like there's been on Grosjean's garage. Magnussen has been able to stay in the race more often than not, has only retired on one occasion due to contact, and that was actually with Grosjean in Silverstone. Did make that big mistake in qualifying in Canada, but apart from that, he's had a fairly clean season, has Kevin Magnussen. His biggest issues, actually, have been with his team. And there's been a few occasions so far this year where his attitude has stank. I mean, it's the comments he was making in Canada appalling to his team. So much so that Gunther Steiner had to come over the radio and tell him to shut up. Literally had to tell him to shut up because he was being so disrespectful to the team that had to stay up overnight and fix his car. A similar thing happened in Austria that could be excused slightly because he got a P5 in quali and the car just was awful in the race. Next year, I think he will do enough to keep his seat, even if Grosjean does slightly better this year. I've said this, Grosjean is definitely on borrowed time and needs to be world class to keep his seat. Magnussen performed well last year and I think has earned himself a little bit extra time and he's earned himself a season where he can be a little bit lacklustre because Haas have given the time to Grosjean. I think it's only fair they give it to K-Mag, and I just hope that over the last few races, they've been able to work out which of the two cars is better. I believe in Belgium this weekend, they're planning on running both cars with the updated package, so fingers crossed for them. But as I said earlier, I really struggled to give it 5 out of 10. It's not been consistent enough for K-Mag. 3 points finishes in 12 races with only 1 DNF. I don't think is good enough, but I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. Another one of these a little bit later on will be coming out, a former Formula 1 World Champion, so keep an eye out for that one. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.